The Blue Jays are in hot pursuit of some of the biggest names in this offseason, and I'm sure you know exactly who those are, but some major reports dropped that the Blue Jays are in the thick of things and that they're bound to make something happen. So we'll break that down and much more in this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Now, it's a huge day in college football. College football playoffs are starting today, but we got some massive news to bring to you when it comes to the Blue Jays. They're in hot pursuit of Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto. Those two things have been very well documented over the past couple of days. We're waiting. We're waiting for Ohtani to make his decision, and then we expect every other domino to fall into place. But the Blue Jays are in pursuit of both of those guys. They want to make something massive happen because they weren't satisfied with the way last season played out. And I think they acknowledge that they got to do something huge here. But Nick, this is super exciting. I can't remember another time where the Blue Jays have been in the mix for this caliber of player. I don't think we've ever seen this caliber of player in Shohei Ohtani. So the Blue Jays are right there. They're one of the finalists. Whether it happens or not remains to be seen. But this is great. It's great that they're in this race this late on.
Yeah, the stove is really heating up, especially for the Juan Soto front and, of course, the Shohei Ohtani front. But before we get into that, a quick reminder, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for letting us hit 10,000 again. About 70% of you guys who are watching this right now aren't subscribed. Our goal is 12,500 by Christmas. Let's see if you guys can do it. You always crush the goals. All right, Peter, we have a couple things to discuss today. And let's start with the Juan Soto stuff. We have a major Juan Soto update. And we also have Shohei Ohtani, where an analyst predicts that the Jays do land him. But let's start with with Juan Soto here. So a few reports dropped yesterday. It actually dropped during our live stream, which is a little bit funny, but Ken Rosenthal, John Heyman, especially Ken Rosenthal, brought up an article by Ken Rosenthal, obviously. He says, as of Friday afternoon, the Yankees and Padres were far apart on a deal involving outfielder Juan Soto, according to sources, and the negotiations are basically stalled, and he goes on to mention that the Blue Jays are one of a number of teams talking to the Padres about Soto, and basically goes on to say that if the Padres wait, other teams that miss out on Ohtani could enter the fray. Now, Peter, this is the first time a major reporter has linked the Toronto Blue Jays to Juan Soto. Besides Ben Nicholson-Smith, like we covered in yesterday's video, we kind of hinted that they could be having discussions. But according to Ken Rosenthal and some other reports, Shadavidi and things like that, it seems that the Jays are actively talking to the San Diego Padres about Juan Soto right now. So what are your thoughts on that? A bit of an escalating situation versus yesterday where it was speculation that they're going to go for him. Now they are officially in talks with Juan Soto.
Look, the way I see it is if we're looking at just pure hitters between Ohtani and Juan Soto, I think they're very comparable players. I think Ohtani is probably the best left-handed hitter in the game, if not second best, behind Yordan Alvarez, and then Juan Soto is top three or top four if you want to put Bryce Harper in the mix. So those guys are some of the elite hitters in the game today. And I said it in the live stream yesterday. I said it in previous videos as well. If the Jays do strike out on Shohei Ohtani, they should be all in on Juan Soto because it's not like this is plan B. Juan Soto is just as good, if not better, a hitter than Shohei Ohtani. So this is someone that could alter the course of your season. So it's not someone that we should be disappointed that the Blue Jays are going after. He's one of the elite players in the game, one of the better hitters in the game, and someone that could definitely help the Blue Jays become a contender, and he'd be the top guy in that lineup. There's no doubt about it. So either of these two names just are so intriguing, so fascinating to Blue Jay fans because they can alter the course of this entire franchise and definitely put them into contention. So I'm all for it. I think this is positive that the Blue Jays are willing to be aggressive, that they're willing to make the subsequent moves to become that team that we all want them to be. And if they don't get Shohei Ohtani, or maybe they do get Shohei Ohtani and he wants them to be more aggressive and acquire more pieces, they're showing the willingness to do that. So this is very positive. More and more reports are pointing towards signs that the Blue Jays are just going to go all out this offseason, and I couldn't be happier to hear that news.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with either of them, and if it wasn't a Shohei Ohtani-filled offseason, then obviously this would be the number one guy to go for. Obviously, Ohtani pitches, he's the better overall player, better everything, besides hitter, maybe directly. But some other reports regarding this, the Blue Jays are one of another teams talking to Padres about Soto. So just a bunch of different reports here. John Heyman goes and mentions the gap between the Yankees because it was kind of a conclusion that the Yankees were the number one suitor for Ohtani, but it seems like the gap is very, very big right now. And Peter, apparently the Padres won a king's ransom for Juan Soto. Now, I'm just going to bring up this potential mock trade before we move on to the Shohei Ohtani news. I want to get your quick thoughts on it. Juan Soto for Alek Manoah, Francis Pearson, Brennan Barriera, Alan Roden, and Chad Dallas. What are your thoughts on this? This apparently, according to sources, the Padres want 4 to 5 prospects for Juan Soto, and he is a pending UFA, so this is a little bit risky, but would you do this deal?
Yeah, I would, but I think it would take a lot more than that. I mean, this is a trade that was brought up by just a random like Twitter guy, so he has no sources or no insight to what the Padres actually want or what they would command. I would believe that it would take Ricky Tiedemann. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I'm sure there's going to be a team out there that is going to be willing to part ways with their top prospect in order to obtain the services of Juan Soto. Let's not sell him short here. I know he has his deficiencies as a player. He can't pitch like Shohei Ohtani can, but he's still a pretty damn good baseball player and one of the top 10 players in the game. I don't think it's a reach to say that. So, yeah, I would give up my top prospect. I would be hesitant to do it, but you know what you're getting in Juan Soto. You're getting one of the best hitters in the game. Whereas if you're giving up a prospect who hasn't exactly panned out yet, you don't know what you're getting out of him, at least not in the next 2 years when it comes to Ricky Tiedemann. So I think it's going to take a lot more than that package you showed. I think it's going to take Alek Manoah and possibly Ricky Tiedemann, and then the talks start over there. The Padres don't have to get rid of him. They want to shed payroll, but they don't absolutely have to get rid of Juan Soto. They'd like to get something back for him before he leaves for nothing in free agency, but they're still a good team and they could still compete with what they have right now. So I don't think they're going to be in a hurry to get rid of him. I think they're going to wait for the best possible package, and I just don't think that's nearly enough to get one of the game's best players.
Fair enough. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on that. I tend to agree. You would have to probably give up Tiedemann. Manoah would obviously be the headliner of the package there, and then a few decent prospects, Barriera being the best one. But yeah, it's probably not enough. And according to, again, the sources, they want a lot of prospects, including Ricky Tiedemann from the Blue Jays. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. And let's move on now to ESPN predicts the Jays to land Ohtani. Now, there was an article posted by ESPN, and I will preface this. Only one of the 3 or 4 or how many reporters predicted the Blue Jays. But Peter, we have a bit of life. We have one reporter, so I just wanted to throw this in here. It says Ohtani signing during the winter meetings would definitely be MLB's preference. At this point, that is most people's guess. Those meetings start tomorrow, I do believe. And many have long speculated Ohtani's free agency, blah, blah, blah. At the end, I'd pick the Toronto Blue Jays to sign him, but it's tough to rule out the Dodgers or Angels. And if you're unfamiliar with this reporter, here's some background on him. He's based in LA and covers a lot in the LA area. Used to cover the Angels, used to cover the Dodgers. Up to you whether you want to believe whether his word has more say than others. I mean, no one really knows what Ohtani's doing. But Peter, we have an analyst in the LA area. He used to cover the Angels, covers the Dodgers, and is LA beat reporter, writer, whatever it is, predicting the Blue Jays. So at least we have someone who thinks the Blue Jays could land him. But it just goes to show that reports are definitely escalating. I think the Jays have a very, very good shot. And I just wanted to throw this in here because it helps highlight the legitimacy of it.
Well, yeah, everything that we're hearing is pointing towards it being a two-team race between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. So, yeah, it wouldn't be. I would be kind of shocked if the Blue Jays got him. Let's be honest. We never thought we would be rooting for a player of that caliber in a Blue Jay uniform. Let's just call it what it is. But at the same time, right now the Blue Jays have been probably the most aggressive team when it comes to the pursuit of Shohei Ohtani. Now, he still might pick the Dodgers. The teams are meeting him and his representatives in LA, so he's there right now. It's not like everything is working in the Dodgers' favor right now. Like, it's that simple. They have the geographical advantage. They have the familiarity advantage because he spent his entire career so far in the state of California. So that's what he knows. That's what he knows about the United States. So on top of that, he won't even be in the States anymore. He's coming to a brand new country. He's got to get acclimated over there. So it's going to be a big change for him. But the one thing that I'll keep harping on is that the Blue Jays have a great selling point here. They have this 2-year window. They allow him the opportunity to get that long-term contract while also having the short-term flexibility if he wants the opt-out, if he wants to start pitching again and then show his true value and hit the market as a two-way player. So a lot of things are working in the favor of the Blue Jays. They don't have to commit to him for 12 years if he doesn't want it. And they have a better pitching staff than the LA Dodgers, which will alleviate some pressure off of Shohei Ohtani when he was ready to return to the mound. So a lot of things are working here in the Blue Jays' favor. They have a great sales pitch. They can sell him an entire country as a fan base, which is not something the Dodgers can do. And it's a pretty good team. I know they underperformed last year, but if you look at that roster, they're one superstar away, and Shohei is that superstar to take them over the top.
And ultimately, none of us know what Shohei Ohtani wants. Maybe he would prefer coming to a place like Toronto, Canada for the country, or maybe he would prefer staying in Los Angeles where it's nice and warm over there. So, I mean, it's ultimately up to what he wants. Money is not going to be the selling point here. I don't suspect the Dodgers are going to outbid the Blue Jays by a ton, or vice versa. I don't suspect the Jays, or maybe the Jays do outbid the Dodgers by, but I think ultimately he's going to pick what he wants, and no one knows what exactly he wants. We have speculation. Everyone's very tight-lipped about it, but Peter, that is going to wrap up the video, and that's also going to probably signify that over the next couple days, we suspect Ohtani will sign somewhere, whether that's tomorrow, whether that's the next day. He's actively having meetings over the next couple days as we speak and as we make these videos. So hopefully he can sign with the Blue Jays, but if not, we'll still be here to cover the latest news, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.